Before anything, a little backstory. I was 10 at the time and was visiting my hometown Brazil for the summer. At the time, I knew just about everyone in my small little town, and so did my parents, which is why they let me go on my own that day. Anyway, here is my encounter. Back when I was 10 years old, my family decided to take a visit to my hometown of Brazil. We went for the summer and planned out just about our whole day. One day, my mom and dad were getting ready to go to a wedding, and I was in the house with them. My big sister went over to a friend's house, and my other relatives had already left for the wedding. I was supposed to stay home alone for the duration, but I saw that it was a beautiful day out and decided to ask my mom and dad to go to a park. That was no more than 2 blocks away. They were reluctant at first, stating that there would be nobody to take care of me. I argued that it was a beautiful day out. There was no way that the park would be empty. They kept getting dressed as I kept on arguing until they finally gave in. They said that I could go to the park as long as I was back before dark. I agreed and ran outside to head for the park. It took me no more than 10 minutes to get there. I was ready to make new friends and play around, but oddly enough, there was nobody else in the park. It looked abandoned, which was weird, seeing how this was one of the 2 parks in the whole city. It should have been packed, but I paid no mind to it. I believe I ran over to a swing set or slide. It was 12 years ago and I can't really remember, and I just played around. As I played, I suddenly heard a voice from the distance. Clown was on the other side of the gate and motioning for me to get closer. Behind him was a white van which I had noticed before, but I thought it was a delivery truck of sorts. I slowly started walking towards the clown and stopped a good distance away from him. He asked me in Spanish, "Hey kid, do you like clowns?" I nodded no to him and he gave me that clown frown, and then said, "Well, what if I can change that?" He opened up his car, and by looking inside, I saw there was only 2 boxes, though I wasn't sure what they were filled with, and that was it. No seats, no posters, just those 2 boxes and then complete emptiness. Being a child, I still paid no mind to it, and watched as he pulled out a deflated balloon. He wrapped his lips around the end and blew till the balloon was fully inflated. He tied the end and started to form the balloon into a balloon animal of a dog. He showed it to me and I smiled. He then mentioned me to come closer, to which I complied, and he handed the balloon to me saying, "Been working." I nodded yes this time, then gave him a little smile. He then grinned in the creepiest way possible. The grin was so creepy, and even as a kid, I knew to back away a bit. The clown then said that if I wanted to see the rest of his tricks, I would have to get into the truck. I told him that the exit was on the other side of the park, and I wouldn't be able to climb this small gate. He then said a few words that haunt me to this day. He said, "Get a little closer and I will carry you over to make it have loads of fun of my truck. Come on, kid." Well, saying this, he still had that creepy grin plastered across his face. I merely backed away and told him, "No, it's okay, sir." His grin turned into anger, as though he was annoyed at this. He played his hands on his hips and said to me, "Oh boy, we are going to have so much fun." Right when he said that, I heard a voice on the other side of the park yelling, Son, I'm here to pick you up." I turned and saw a man that I recognized as a local neighbor. He wasn't my real father, but obviously the little me knew how to run to him. I said nothing to the clown. I just ran to the man and gave him a hug. The man waved at the clown and said, "Thanks for keeping my kid entertained." To which the clown just replied, "No problem." As we turned around, I was able to hear this man murmur, "Sick." I looked at him and asked, "Sir, what exactly is going on here?" He gave me a sigh and explained everything. As it turns out that he was no real clown. He was a man that kidnapping kids all across Brazil. He would lure kids in with the clown costume and take them away to God knows what place. The people of my town had a feeling he was coming to our town, which is why the whole park was deserted. He said he was walking behind when he noticed that I was taking to the clown and ran over to basically save me. As he told me, there she also stopped for the police to report the incident. When we had finally arrived at my house, this man said, "Be careful who you talk to, son. Not everyone is who they seem." I give him one final hug and give him a thanks for saving me from that sick man. He gave me a rub on the head and said, "It's okay, my boy, now hurry on. I have my own things to worry about." I nodded and ran into the house. Nobody was there, and by the time they had returned, I had decided not to tell everyone since I knew they just flipped the fuck out. It took me a while to forget about the whole incident, especially with those words that kept reminding me of him. But I soon forgot till I came across the page on memories of that clown that flooded my head. I'm not quite sure what happened to the Seiko, but hopefully he is now behind bars. I've never had any experiences that really freaked me out, except this one. I was around 11 years old and was with my sister and her friends. We are all girls. They were all around 16 years old, and when taking me trick-or-treating, we were going door to door to get candy and playing with silly string. I kept getting this weird feeling like I was looking behind me constantly, and I had no idea why. Around 9:30 p.m., I turned around quickly and there was this guy dressed up as a clown, about 2 yards behind us. I wasn't really scared about this because I liked clowns, and since this was the first time I saw him, I figured he was just trick-or-treating. But he followed us for another hour, never getting candy and waiting for us at each house we stopped at. At this point, I was stressing and told my sister about the clown. She decided that we try to go to a completely different route and see if he still followed us. So we all crossed the street, and sure enough, he did. My sister absolutely hates clowns, was freaked out, so she called our dad to come pick us up. We continued walking for around 30 minutes until our dad called us, saying he was parked. We all started walking fast towards the direction of my dad's car, but that's when the clown ran in front of us and tried to corner us. I think he knew that we were trying to leave. My sister and her friends were freaking out, and me, being a naive and outspoken kid, yelled at the clown to leave us alone. I remember that he tilted his head to the side when I said that, kind of like a confused dog. I grabbed my sister's silly string and told the clown if he didn't leave us alone, I would ruin his outfit with the silly string. I was a naive kid. I actually thought he would be scared of the silly string. The clown didn't back off, so I hit him to his masking costume. While I did this, my sister called our dad again, telling him to hurry to where we were. The clown struggled to get this string off his mask so he could see, but we were already running. My dad came around the corner and we all rushed inside the car. The clown caught up with us and tried to open the car door, but it was locked. As my dad hit the gas, the clown slammed his hand onto the back window. I remember watching him out of the back window trying to chase the car, but failing. I never figured out what was up with that clown, but there were other reports of a clown with the same description chasing kids in this area.